Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ankush. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about the distributed storage. So whenever we learn this or whenever we heard this, distributed storage word, there is always one thing is coming in our mind. We called it as a HDFS. So this is the first terminology, or this is the first thing which is always coming in our mind, HDFS, Hadoop file system. Now in the world of big data, we are always discussing about the HDFS only, which is a storage solution for your big data. Now if you talk about the normal file system, okay, if you talk about the normal file system like your Windows or which is not a HDFS, what will happen? These file systems are mainly useful to store your small files, okay. But in terms of big data, obviously your data will be really huge, and it is not possible to store your data on the normal file system because the normal file system block size is very small compared to the HDFS. Nowadays the HDFS which is coming, which is having the block size of 128 MB, okay. So obviously it has a lot of storage, There will be always question in your mind that, okay, when we are dealing with the storage file system, we are discussing about HDFS. Obviously, we need to deal with the cost. The client is more concerned about the cost. So HDFS is a file system which can be also work with the commodity hardware. Like in your normal hard drive, you can just use as your HDFS also. So which is really making your life easy, and with respect to the cost, again it is becoming more cheaper. Now how it is more safer? Security is also important. Apart from this, fault tolerant, that is also important. Yes, it is fault tolerant. So if you are storing your data and by any chance if your disk get failed, still you have a copies available in another disk, and in another disk there is that we called it as a replication. So replication factor also provided by your HDFS file system. By default, the replication factor is 3. If you want to change the replication factor, obviously you can do that. The HDFS concept has been given by the Google. Google have a lot of huge amount of data. We can't count it also. So the thing is like, when we had a server, when HDFS was not there, we had a server, right? On this server, we were storing our data. Then we thought like, okay, let's try to process this data. So when we tried to process this data, we were facing a lot of issues. And again, to store this huge amount of data, we need a lot of costly devices, which is not possible. Then they thought like, okay, now when they want to process this kind of big data, they've thought like, okay, this is very difficult to process this much of huge amount of data. So they try to increase, CPU, memory, all those things they try to increase, but again that was not making a good performance. This is called horizontal scaling. Instead of doing the horizontal scaling, let's say I am having RAM of 8 GB and I want to increase it to the 16 GB. So the same laptop I'm just increasing my RAM, but within some time you will find that, okay, still the 16 GB RAM is also not sufficient, and then you will go with the 32 GB RAM. After that, there is no chances. You cannot increase your RAM because every laptop is having a maximum RAM. Then what we can do, like, can we have a multiple system? Let's say this is my first system and another is having this is my second system, or I can connect multiple system also, and let's connect to each other. So this system will have their own memory. We also called it as a RAM, own disk, own CPU, and this will be also available here. Now we need to connect this disk in a such way that we need to connect this server, okay, or we can call it as a node also. Some people are also calling it as a server. So we need to connect this server so that it will become a cluster, okay, and we called it as a Hadoop cluster. So that's what we are doing. We are storing our data into the distributed format. So if I'm storing my 10 GB of file, my files will get distributed among different nodes. And this is where, when you are processing your data, that will get processed among the different nodes, because we have resources here also, we have resources here also. In both the ways we have resources, and this is how distributed environment works. I'll discuss more about the distributed environment and about the big data. Please reach out to me if you are looking for your Hadoop development training. Thank you so much. Please do like, subscribe and share this channel.